Ave Maria, everyone. Welcome back to the Roman Martyrology. This is August 8th. The memorial of Saint Dominic, priest, canon of Osma, humble minister preaching in the regions devastated by the Albigensian heresy, who lived by his choice in the most miserable poverty, talking continuously with God and of God. Eager to find a new way to propagate the faith, he founded the order of preachers in order to restore in the church the form of life of the apostles, and recommended to his brothers to serve their neighbors with prayer, study, and ministry of the word. His death took place at Bologna on August 6th. At Albano, at the 15th mile of Via Appia, Saints Secondo, Carpoforo, Vittorino, and Severiano, martyrs. At Rome, at the 7th mile of Via Ostiense, Saints Cyriacus, Largus, Crescentianus, Memia, Juliana, and Smaragdus, martyrs. At Tarsus in Cilicia, in present-day Turkey, the Passion of Saint Marino, an elderly native of Ainvarza, who was beheaded under Emperor Diocletian and the governor Lysias, and his body, by order of the prefect, given to the fairs. At Milan, Saint Eusebio, bishop, who worked diligently for the right faith and rebuilt the cathedral destroyed by the Huns. At Vienne in Gallia Lugdunensis, now in France, Saint Severus of Vienne, priest. At Bordeaux in Aquitaine, also in France, Saint Momole, abbot of Fleury. At Cyzicus in the Hellespont in present-day Turkey, Saint Emilian, bishop, who suffered much from Emperor Leo for the veneration of sacred images, and finally died in exile. In the monastery of Gottweig, in the territory of present-day Austria, Saint Altman, bishop of Passau, who founded numerous houses of clerics under the rule of Saint Augustine, renewed the discipline of the clergy, and died in exile, expelled from his seat for having defended the freedom of the church against Emperor Henry IV. At Galles, near Viterbo, Saint Famian, hermit, who, as a native of Cologne, distributed his goods to the poor, and, after making sacred pilgrimages, wearing the Cistercian habit, died in this place. At London in England, Blessed John Felton, martyr, who, cruelly torn to pieces at St. Paul's Cathedral for having publicly posted the bull of excommunication issued by Pope St. Pius V against Queen Elizabeth I, gloriously accomplished his martyrdom by invoking the name of the Savior. At York, also in England, Blessed John Fingley, priest and martyr, who under the same queen was condemned to death for his priesthood and led to the gallows. Blessed Robert Bickerdike, martyr, is also commemorated with him, who in the same period, but on an unknown day and year, suffered the same torments for being reconciled with the Catholic Church. In the territory of Zhixiaodun, near Zhexian, in the Hebei province in China, Saint Paulus Gay Tingzhu, martyr, who, as leader of the Christians of the place during the persecution unleashed by the proponents of the Boxer sect, stripped to pieces, was for others an extraordinary example of firmness. At Zamora in Spain, Saint Bonifacio Rodriguez y Castro, virgin, who, committed to promoting women in the Christian and social fields through prayer and work, established the Congregation of the Servants of Saint Joseph on the model of the Most Holy Family of Nazareth. At Sydney in Australia, Saint Mary of the Cross MacKillop, virgin, who founded the Congregation of the Sisters of Saint Joseph and of the Sacred Heart, and governed it amidst many difficulties and outrages. At Poggio Acaiano in Tuscany, Blessed Maria Margherita Caiani, virgin, founder of the Institute of the Franciscan Minim Sisters of the Sacred Heart for the formation of youth and assistance to the sick. At El Saler, near Valencia in Spain, Blessed Antonio Silvestre Moya, priest and martyr, who in the course of the persecution against the faith reached the celestial kingdom unconquered for his firm testimony given to Christ. At Valencia, also in Spain, Blesseds Maria del Niño Jesus Baldalu Bullet and companions, virgins of the Institute of the Daughters of Mary of the Pious Schools and martyrs, who in the same persecution under the violence of the enemies of the Church went gloriously to meet Christ the spouse. At Guzan in Germany, Blessed Waldzemirz Laskowski, priest and martyr, who in time of war was deported to this prison camp for his faith, and cruelly tortured, achieved the glory of martyrdom. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Ave Maria.